This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in California. I'm here with Stronghold Wealth Partners. Since 2021, these wealth partners fortify your finances and strategize so that you can retire properly and feel confident in the legacy that you have built. I'm here with the agent, Anna Felix. Thanks so much for joining us here today, Anna.
Thank you for having me.
I'm going to start off a little bit about yourself. You're a California native, a smart money strategist. You have a background in education and linguistic intelligence. Your past as a wife, mother, interpreter, business consultant, and even a business owner have all brought you really to where you are today. And that is empowering others, making them financially bulletproof. Share with me a little bit how the story got you here.
Yeah, so I became a widow in 2010, and I really, before then, was not too super concerned with investments and money, how all that worked. It just wasn't in my wheelhouse. It didn't have a lot of questions about it. But when I became a widow, it became a very important thing for me. I wanted to understand how things worked. I felt very unempowered around it. And I just felt like, okay, I've got to figure this out. I'm 42. I'm going to have to start over. There was just a lot of questions. And so I went looking for help. And I naively thought that I could just, ask some questions and I'd find an advisor that would help me with that. And that's not really what I found. I found people that were either, you don't have enough money to work with me, or I don't have time to answer your questions. And I think the last gentleman I met with, he was just the straw that broke the camel's back. He said, Anna, I don't have time to answer your questions. And quite frankly, you don't need to understand this stuff. You just need to marry a rich guy. And I was just like, what? Okay. To me, that doesn't sound like a financial plan. And so it was literally after leaving that appointment, walking back to my car, the thought came to me that maybe I could become the person I was looking for. And I wasn't sure what that looked like. I wasn't sure if that was possible, but I thought, I know if I had good information, I could do a better job of this. And that's really where that seed was planted. About 3 years later, I did enter the industry, and I get to help women today not feel so unempowered.
That is fantastic. You didn't like that limited option and somebody offered you. You decided to become the person that you wanted to be, that you felt that people deserve to have in their corner. Since 2020, a common message in the news is uncertainty. Would you say more than ever society kind of yearns for some peace of mind and maybe some protections from the unknown?
Absolutely. It's the one thing that, all of my clients, but particularly my women clients, they just want to have a sense of being in control of something around their money. And so everything that I do is about that. It's about having guaranteed income. It's about being able to know what that's going to bring to you in your future. A lot of times, people talk about accumulating money all the time. And that's great. We want to do that. I tend to say I'm more of a distribution specialist. So I'm more about what is all of that accumulation going to bring you in the future. And so people really want to know that. It's kind of important to know, how much income can I expect to be making in retirement? And if I don't know that, then it really plays into the uncertainty.
Interesting. I mean, although we cannot always control what happens in our life, we can control how we are prepared for the events that we're not in control of. Should being properly insured in all areas of our life be a priority? And is that really kind of the first step when it comes to risk management?
Yes, absolutely. It's definitely a piece of it. And, I didn't mention, but leading up to the death of my husband, we'd had a severe car accident in '05. And when I tell clients, in one moment your life is great, and in the very next it's not, and you don't know, and none of us know what's going to happen tomorrow. So it's really important to plan for the things that we can plan for and be protected against it. I know that for some it's kind of a negative thing. They think, oh, if I'm planning these things, if I'm talking about the possibility of what would happen when I passed away, or then, maybe I'm bringing that type of an occurrence upon myself. But I say it's really about loving those that you're going to leave behind, because it's a mess if you haven't planned for that. And really, the more we plan for those things, the less chance of them actually happening, right? When you've planned for something, you've got it all in place, and then it's like you never even need it. And that's the case with this. The more that we can have in place, the more that we understand, what the needs of those that we leave behind are going to be, and plan for those, then it's just a much easier thing for everyone.
I mean, although we all may know what insurance is, only with the guidance of a professional can we make sure that we're not just insured, but properly insured. Is every client rather unique and require a custom plan kind of based on their needs?
Yes, absolutely. It's absolutely a conversation with each person, because each person has different goals and needs and situations in their life. And the thing that I really like to make clear is that, I really use life insurance in a very unusual way. So life insurance is a great thing in and of itself. There's many different modalities to it. I personally feel like the one that has living benefits attached to it is super important, because if you get sick, if you have a long life, sick life, or short life, it's going to cover that. But I also like to use it as a wealth building strategy. And so there is the ability to grow cash value in a life insurance policy if it's designed correctly. And now it kind of becomes your own bank. And so, who doesn't want that? Having a bank account is great. What if you could own the bank and it be yours and you make those decisions? So the fact that we use life insurance in that way also just brings on many more benefits and many more abilities to, control a lot of aspects of your financial future.
So definitely two sides of the coin when we're talking about insurance there. I mean, as the saying goes, money doesn't grow on trees. We all work hard for our money. Is saving for the future or for a rainy day wisdom that many maybe did not learn in public schools, and sometimes the school of hard knocks can be their first painful lesson. For you, is this really about educating your clients?
Absolutely, it is. And too often I speak with professionals that maybe are even in the financial industry themselves, or they're in banking, and they'll talk about, no one ever taught me how to really save for money, how to invest it, how to budget it. I feel like today, because we are such an automated society, especially the younger people coming up, they don't even have the notion of, $20 came out of my account, I paid for that. That means that I don't have those $20 in that account anymore, right? Like, we're just swiping a card, and there's no true connection to how much did I just spend. And so it's really important to understand spending, saving. If I make X amount of dollars per month, then ideally I would be spending less than that amount every month. And that extra now goes to savings and putting it in places, and not just in a bank account, because that's important, but also putting it in a place where it's actually really growing, and growing in a place where I don't have to have any loss either. So those things are super important. And I feel like the younger that we can teach these values, the better. I recently did a presentation at a junior high school, because I feel like even at that level, it's so important. And it was so interesting to see that some were, excited about it. They talked about, yes, my family talks about investing all the time. And others were like, oh, we don't have a lot of money, so, I wouldn't want to talk to someone like you. And those are the barriers that we really need to bring down.
To achieve a lifetime of financial security, it starts with a single step. So let's touch on some of the tools, services, and strategies that you provide. Is tax preparation different than that of tax planning? And can it be a powerful enhancement to your portfolio?
Yes, absolutely. Because much of what we do in savings today for retirement is in traditionally like a 401k type of a program. And that's great. The only problem is that you're not paying taxes on that money today. You're deferring that to later in retirement. Most people agree with me that taxes are going to have to go up in the future. We've had COVID, we've had all these other things happen. they're going to have to raise taxes to pay for all these things. So it's kind of a problem when you're kind of writing a check to the government and saying, whatever amount you want back later, I don't even know what that's going to be, but I'm happy to pay that. That's really what we're saying when we save all our money in a deferred tax situation. So it is very important, and it is possible to grow money in a tax-free environment. It sounds too good to be true, but it's actually possible. And then, we talked earlier about stressing and worrying about things and anxiety around money. You're not going to be anxious about what are taxes going up to in the future if I'm growing it in an area where it's going to be tax-free when I take out the money. So it's really important to do that tax preparation. And, maybe some of your money is going to be growing in a tax-deferred place, and that's fine. But you deciding what percentage I want there, what percentage do I want to be tax-free? And now you're just much more aware of, what, again, your future is going to look like, because you have a measure of control over that, rather than, I don't know what the tax rate's going to be, and oh boy, I hope it's not too much.
Whether you have just joined the workforce or if retirement is just around the corner, after evaluating a client's needs, risk tolerance, and even time horizon, are you able then to make a recommendation that really is kind of a custom fit? And do you enjoy getting to know your client?
Yes, absolutely. And I think we just have a notion nowadays that because everything is electronic, we don't really have that correct thought process of, money came out of the account when I swiped that card. And especially for the younger ones, it's great that their parents are giving them debit cards and they're learning how to use them, but they don't really understand that, there's a certain amount of money that goes in, and every time they swipe that card, money is going out. And so I think that learning that at a very young age is super important. I recently did a presentation at a local junior high and was talking about those concepts. And it was clear that, some families are having those conversations, but others are not. And then, we grow up as adults, and whatever habits that we either learned or didn't learn, we carry into adulthood, get married, and now it's a combination of those thought processes. And so it is very important to, be saving, but to be doing it in the right way. And traditionally, we learn, if I'm going to have any kind of savings, it's only in a savings account that I can have it. Well, there's some great things about that, and you definitely need to have, an emergency fund in there. I say somewhere between 6 and 12 months of your, bills in there. But anything over and above that should really be growing for you. And so really educating clients on what that looks like and how to accomplish that is super important.
With proper retirement planning, you can live out your golden years with peace of mind, knowing you have a solid plan with built-in protections. Your organization looks at finance and investment strategies differently. Fortifying your client's legacy, would you say, is personal for each one of the agents you work with?
Yes, absolutely. And we all have, different groups that we work with, just depending on our own life experiences. Like for me, I work a lot with women, entrepreneurs, business owners, women in corporate. Others will have other entities and groups that they work with. So the nice thing is, being able to work with that niche that we're with and really help them and educate them, because then that kind of spills over, into other groups. The thing I love about working with women and empowering them financially is that women are really, they give back a lot in the community. And so they end up, obviously they're teaching their children, but then they're teaching their friends and others in communities that they're working with. And so the word is getting out. And that's what I particularly love about working with women.
Each of your clients has a story, and your story is painful with many lessons learned. And now it has become an empowering story. Is it rewarding helping others?
Absolutely. It truly is. It's, each person has different, I call them different money stories, different experiences that they've had. And many women come to me full of fear because of things that have happened to them in the past, because of not understanding, and really being able to be a place where they can come and not feel judged for asking questions that, maybe before they didn't feel like they could ask, making them feel comfortable and not stressed around this subject is really, it really feels good to be able to do that. And to then later, a year, 2 years later, when we're meeting again, doing an annual review, and they're just like, I just feel so much better. Like I'm sleeping better at night. Like I feel so much more comfortable around this subject. It just truly feels like I've been able to use my experiences to now help others.
Viewers, take a look at the bottom of the screen. You're going to see their website. On the website, you can learn more about all the services they provide. The contact information is right at the bottom of the screen. Strong, genuine relationships are the heart of Stronghold Wealth Partners. And the better they know who you are, the stronger they can fortify your future. So reach out today. That is Stronghold Wealth Partners. Retire properly and feel confident in the legacy that you have built. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know.